At my Caucasian wife's 50th birthday party, she brought her Hispanic female boss on stage, so I brought a non-binary HR representative.
If Rachel had ever actually listened to me, really listened, we could have avoided the explosion that eventually turned her life into corporate confetti. But Rachel never truly heard anything that didn't flatter her. That was the problem with loving a woman who lived on attention the way others live on oxygen. She mistook admiration for affection and lust for mentorship. And she mistook my warnings for jealousy. We'd been together 8 years when everything blew up, and honestly, the wreckage had been visible long before the blast. She worked in marketing, which meant she floated through life in a haze of curated aesthetics, champagne networking, and performative self-importance. Meanwhile, I worked in corporate law, dull, precise, and unforgiving. I thought we balanced each other. I thought being opposites made us strong. Turns out, opposites attract only until one of them finds someone shinier. That someone was her boss, Kevin Patterson. A man who talked like a TED speaker, walked like he owned the sidewalk, and texted my wife at midnight telling her to wear the red dress. Rachel, of course, took that as professional encouragement. She genuinely believed every man was dazzled by her strategic mind, not her strategic neckline. One Tuesday morning, while she sipped her $12 latte like it was personality fuel, I told her clearly, "If you invite Kevin to your birthday party, Rachel, we're done. Not a threat, not an ultimatum. Just truth." She laughed. A loud, obnoxious, whole-body laugh like I'd told a punchline to a joke she'd already decided I was. "He's just my mentor, David. Relax. Mentor, right. Because mentors absolutely send flirty midnight dress requests to married employees." But I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I let her keep talking, keep lying to herself, keep piling dirt on the grave she'd eventually climb into. What she never bothered to ask was that Patterson Marketing Group was under quiet preliminary review at my firm. Financial irregularities, misconduct concerns, the kind of words that make compliance attorneys like me sharpen pencils and double-check case files. And I'd just been assigned to the early assessment team. Her boss wasn't just a threat to my marriage. He was a legal landmine. So while Rachel spent her week planning her grandiose 33rd birthday party, she described as tasteful luxury, but was essentially an Oscar ceremony for people with no talent, I was planning my exit. She ordered metallic balloons shaped like her initials. I drafted conflict of interest documentation. She shopped for a dress so tight it violated fabric ethics. I gathered screenshots of her messages with Kevin from the night she accidentally airdropped a text preview to my iPad. She decorated the backyard with string lights and hired a band. I waited. That night the party looked like Instagram had thrown up all over our property. Ring lights everywhere. Strategically posed charcuterie boards. Co-workers dressed like they were attending a tech gala, influencers filming their shoes, neighbors pretending to enjoy themselves. And Rachel, God, she loved that spotlight. She moved through the space like a goddess floating above the mortals she invited to worship her. And she wore the red dress. The one Kevin had requested. At 8:15 he arrived, fashionably late, holding a massive designer gift bag and smirking like he'd been voted favorite boss to have an affair with. They hugged too long. Too closely, too comfortably. I stood at the bar gripping my whiskey like it was the last thread holding me together. Then Rachel climbed onto a chair, yes, an actual chair like she was about to give a presidential address, and tapped her champagne glass. "I want to thank everyone for being here," she announced grandly. "But there's one very special person I need to acknowledge." My teeth clenched. "Kevin, come up here." The crowd clapped politely. Kevin strolled forward like a man accepting a Grammy. Rachel looked at him the way brides look at grooms' eyes, bright, smile, soft, completely oblivious to the husband standing 10 feet away. "Kevin," she said, "thank you for believing in me, for pushing me, for inspiring me." "I wouldn't be where I am without you," people cheered. I felt something inside me finally snap, not loudly, but quietly, cleanly. The kind of break that doesn't hurt until after it's done. I downed my drink, walked toward Rachel, leaned close, and whispered, "Happy birthday." Then I left. No scene, no shouting. Just a man walking away from what no longer deserved him. I drove to a 24-hour diner and ordered coffee that tasted like punishment, Rachel didn't call, not once, not in an hour, not in 4 hours, not that night. So I made decisions. I froze our joint card, rerouted my paychecks, moved business assets into protected accounts, scheduled a locksmith for morning, drafted a conflict of interest report, then attached the perfect photo Rachel and Kevin, too close, too familiar, too comfortable. It wasn't revenge. It was documentation. 4 days passed before Rachel even noticed I hadn't come home. 4 days where she posted inspirational quotes about choosing happiness. When she finally returned, she strutted through the front door like she owned the place until I pointed out the locks were changed.